I still haven't unpacked. I'm wearing Christmas pajamas. The whole room is empty because we don't have any furniture. But of course, I'm gonna tell you about my latest read. So I'm reading You Again with my book club. I'm like 3 chapters in, I think. I'm not a big fan so far. First of all, it's a third-person book, which usually doesn't bother me that much. But this one this is weird. I've never seen this in a book. This is a third-person book that changes perspectives. So it's a third-person book kind of narrating from her point of view and then narrating from his point of view. It's very confusing and annoying. Like, you have to be really concentrated to keep up who's kind of talking. Female main character, she's not bad, but she's not good. I don't know what is it about her. It's just maybe that I'm not resonating with her, like in her preconception about relationships, at least in the beginning of the book. He's a total prick. Like, he's such an annoying male character. So it's about these two people who meet at intervals of time. Like, first they meet when he's dating the girl's roommate, and then they meet again 3 years after, and then they meet again 2 years after, and it's basically like that. And the second time they meet, I think 3 years after the first meeting, he's working as a chef, where the girl's roommate, another roommate, working like under him as a chef. And literally the girl working in the kitchen was like, okay, I'm putting the duck in for 10 minutes. And he as a chef says, no, 10 minutes, 8 minutes. And she's like, no, it's not enough. And he's like, I'm the chef, put it in for 10 minutes. The duck ended up being undercooked and clients complained about it. And he fired her because she doesn't know how to cook a duck. The rage that came out of me, it was so hard to read that chapter. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna put this book down right now. 2 years later, they meet again and she's married to a chick, which is weird because she was like very anti-relationship and very anti-monogamy. But that's what happened so far. Okay, I'm still reading You Again. I'll say one thing about this book. I think it's supposed to be enemies to lovers, or just like hate each other to probably love each other. The author really played into the hate each other part. Like, they're insufferable, but like so bad that I can see why they don't like each other. Usually when it's like enemies to lovers, I'm like, come on, they're so charming. These people are insufferable. I get why they hate each other. But they're starting to warm up to each other, which I think they're maturing. I think this is what the book is about. We've all been young and dumb and like insufferable, and as we mature, we also become more like a all-around nice human. Well, I hope so. I'm starting to be intrigued. After some more time has passed, they met again and they realized that they're both lonely and miserable, and they started hanging out as friends, and they're both trying to push each other to start dating. And he's going on a date and she realized she's kind of jealous. So that's where we are. It's just not the most exciting book. I'm kind of starting to like it. Maybe quite a lot. So what happened is, so she was married, okay? She was married to this girl. And the girl basically dumped her, took everything from her apartment and left her alone. So they started hanging out as friends, and they ran into her ex-wife. And basically her ex-wife was already engaged to someone else. So that kind of broke Ari. He was really nice about it. And then he just asked her to attend this gala, New Year's Eve gala with him. He was like, okay, we'll do it as friends. But after that, page 213. Page 213. I'm really starting to like them. They're evolving. In my opinion, still kind of unfit for each other. But I'm starting to like them. They're cute. They're cute. If you want to read this book, you're going to have to endure the first 5 or 6 chapters. To me, they were rage bait. Hey, we need to talk about this because I have some updates. Chapter 19, Ari is so freaking afraid of commitment. Like, I've never seen someone who's so afraid of commitment. That is her problem. Josh, I think he's afraid of he's afraid of being hurt. Like, they just had sex and it was more than that for them. It was borderline making love. Like, it was very intense. And after this, she's frowning because she's enjoyed it too much. Like, make it make sense, lady. I don't think I've ever met a more dysfunctional human than Ari. Like, after they had sex, she said, "I love you," and the next day she bolted because she freaked out that she said, "I love you," which was, I don't think it was a spur of the moment thing, because they've been hanging out as friends for months and stuff like that, and they didn't just have like one night stand. It was just a lot of emotion built up there, and she just left, and Josh was. And then in chapter 22, like, this chapter is so real. It's heartbreaking because he is so scared of things getting real and meaning something that she would rather end them early than see where they could go. He was so hurt. Like, I could feel his pain in that chapter. Like, he was so fucking hurt. He was like begging her, like, what can he do to make her stay? And it was just like, it was such a heartbreaking chapter, but it felt like such a real breakup. It felt like something that two real people would do. It didn't feel like it was forced or anything. I was like, I feel like I lived through this with someone. 1 year later, after Ari was like, "I don't want this," and she ran away, she came back. Josh has a restaurant and he's working with Radia, her best friend, and she's heartbroken. Josh is also dating, but I don't think he means it. But also Ari was like, "I kind of want you back," and he was like, "No." And it was like heartbreaking, but kind of deserved for her, I'll be honest. I finished reading this. This was a bit of a roller coaster. I think this is 100% gonna become a rom-com movie. I know it. It has everything, and quote me on that. Okay, final thoughts on this book. This was a journey. A good one. I decided it was a good one. It's different than a normal romance book, which I love it. I am someone who tends to get a bit bored of normal romance books. And this one definitely did not bore me. It enraged me maybe, but did not bore me. I love the ending. I love the fact that it shows how people grow and evolve with age. Their needs change as they grow older. Like, when you're young, you don't want anything serious, and it shows both sides. Like, some people want something from when they're young, but it just doesn't work out usually when you're young. I feel like it's just a play on, like, sometimes in life you just have to take leaps of faith and be courageous and not be afraid of being hurt all the time, because living your life and maybe missing out on some great people. I definitely recommend reading this one. I think it's a very unique book. With the new year, I think this one is a very good lesson for everyone, and put in a lovely romance.